Hello all my dear students. I welcome you all to the third session of the topic evolution. So in the last class we had revised about the origin of universe, origin of earth, and we have also studied about theories regarding the origin of life, that is theory of biogenesis, theory of abiogenesis, and theory of chemical evolution. So in our today's session, let us continue with the theory of chemical evolution. So regarding this theory, an experiment was conducted by a well-known scientist, that is Stanley Miller, in order to support this theory, that is the theory of chemical evolution. So let us know about the experimental setup carried out by Stanley Miller. So Stanley Miller carried out this simple experiment to give a evidential proof regarding the theory of chemical evolution. So this experiment comprised of the following apparatus. So it consists of a glass chamber fitted with tungsten electrodes, a water boiler connected with a glass chamber, a side tube, a cooling jacket, and a U-shaped trap for collecting the liquid. So these are the basic requirements which were used by Miller in his experiment. So you can carefully look at the diagram here and let us know what is the procedure in this Miller's experiment. So Miller at first evacuated air. So the entire experimental setup was made airtight. So he first evacuated air from the spark discharge apparatus by making use of a vacuum pump, and then he introduced a mixture of gases containing hydrogen, water vapor, ammonia, methane, etc. Then he allowed the water to boil in the flask. So this boiling water in the flask was made to produce steam continuously. So this steam was allowed to mix with the gases present in the glass chamber, where these were exposed to a powerful electric spark with an electric shock of 75,000 volts. So this gaseous mixture was later on cooled by passing through a cooling jacket, and the liquid which was formed was collected in the trap at the bottom, and after few weeks Miller analyzed that the liquid which was collected in the trap contained simple organic compounds like amino acids and carbohydrates. So with this experiment, he clearly demonstrated the theory of chemical evolution. So finally, Miller strongly supported the theory of biogenesis, and this theory of biogenesis was also supported by A.I. Oparin and Haldane. So this theory of chemical evolution was put forward by Oparin and Haldane, and Regarding this theory of chemical evolution, an experimental proof was carried out by Stanley Miller. So these are the conclusions regarding the Miller's experiment. Now, next, let us move on to evolution of life forms. So what is the meaning of evolution? So evolution is nothing but origin of new forms of life by undergoing a slow and a gradual change. So new species arise by undergoing a slow and a progressive change which requires many years, and these new forms of life originate from their ancestors. So this is the basic concept of evolution, and in regard to evolution of life, a new theory was proposed called as the theory of special creation. So according to this theory of special creation, the entire world was created in 6 days. So this theory of special creation was proposed by a monk named as Sudras. So he proposed this theory of special creation, and according to him, the entire world was created by the supernatural power, that is God. So according to him, the whole world originated within 6 days. So on the first and the second day, earth was created. All plants were created on the third day. Sun, moon, and stars, that is the celestial bodies, were created on the fourth day. All aquatic animals and birds were created on the fifth day. And finally, on the sixth day, animals, including human beings, were created. So the first man originated on this earth was Adam, and the first woman created by God was Eve. So this theory was called as the theory of special creation, proposed by Sudras. Now let us know about Darwinism. So who was Darwin? So I think you're familiar with this well-known scientist, that is Charles Darwin. So Charles Darwin is considered as the father of evolution. So he gave a lot of evolutionary thoughts regarding evolution, and as a result he is considered as the father of evolution. So let us study about Charles Darwin. So on regard with the biography of Darwin, so Charles Darwin was born in the year 12th February 1809. His father was a medical practitioner in England. So his father wanted him to be a doctor, and hence he was sent to Edinburgh to study medicine. But unfortunately, Darwin discontinued his studies in medicine. Then he was later on sent to Cambridge University to continue his degree. So finally, he received his degree in the year 1831, and Charles Darwin began his career as a naturalist on the ship of HMS Beagle. So he was considered as a naturalist who studies in detail about nature. So he started his journey on HMS Beagle in the year 1831. So during his voyage, he visited many islands in the Pacific Ocean, including Galapagos Islands. So his voyage or his journey on HMS Beagle lasted for 5 years. So during his voyage, he took notes on the flora and fauna which were present in the Galapagos Islands. So he also made extensive collections on the flora and fauna. So finally, Darwin published a book, that is Origin of Species by Natural Selection, in the year 1859. So this is about the biography of Darwin. Now let us study about the principles of Darwinism. So as you know, there are 5 important postulates or principles of Darwin. First is overproduction. Second, struggle for existence. Third postulate is development of variation. Fourth postulate is survival of the fittest. And last postulate is origin of species. So these are the 5 important postulates or theories proposed by Darwin. Now let us know about the important postulates of Darwin. So as I have told you, first important postulate is overproduction. So what is overproduction? So the natural tendency or the ability of each and every living organism, that is animal or plant, to produce more and more number of offsprings is called as overproduction, or it is also termed as prodigality of nature. For example, a salmon fish has a ability to produce about 28 lakh eggs in a single season. Oyster has the ability to produce about 1,14,000 eggs in a single mating. So all these living organisms have the ability to produce more number of offsprings. But unfortunately, all these offsprings or progenies do not survive, because most of the offsprings, they undergo mortality or they undergo death due to some natural calamities or due to shortage of food and shelter. So this concept of Darwin was called as overproduction or prodigality of nature. Now, second important concept or postulate of Darwin is struggle for existence. So overproduction. So when the population increases, naturally there is competition among the individuals. So this postulate is called as struggle for existence. So overproduction leads to struggle for existence between the members of the species. So this competition or this struggle may be for food or for shelter, or it may be for any other resource. So this struggle or competition may exist among the members of the same species or also among the members of different species. So there are different types of struggle. For example, interspecific struggle. So when two members compete with one another, and if at all they are of different species, then we call it as interspecific competition or interspecific struggle. For example, if at all a flesh is fallen on the ground, then a crow as well as a dog, both these members, they are of different species and they fight with one another for a meat of flesh. So this is a best example for interspecific struggle. Second type of struggle is intraspecific struggle. So members of the same species, for example, sorry, for example, we human beings, we struggle, we compete with one another for the same resource, either for food or for shelter. So this is the best example for intraspecific struggle. Third type of struggle is environmental struggle. So each and every individual will compete with the environment in order to survive on this earth. So this is called as environmental struggle. So second important postulate of Darwin is struggle for existence. Third important postulate of Darwin is variation, development of variation. So Darwin observed that variation is a universal phenomenon. So each and every living organism has a different character. So this difference in the character which we can see among the individuals is called as variation. So for example, there is variation in size, there is variation in color, height, weight, external feature, behavior. So all these are called as variations. So in other words, we can say that no two individuals are same on this earth. So even identical twins also show some variation. So each and every individual living on this earth shows variation. So this variation may be either useful or it may be sorry, or it may be harmful. So some variations are called as useful variations. For example, development of chlorophyll in plants. So it is called as a beneficial variation or a useful variation because development of chlorophyll pigment helps the plants to carry out photosynthesis. So it is a variation, it is a character which is developed by the plants and hence it is considered as a useful variation or a beneficial variation. Second type of variation is called as harmful variation. So some of the variation, some of the characters prove to be harmful. So as a result, we call it as harmful variation. So for example, development of a disease in a plant. So this is an example for harmful variation. So when a plant gets infected by a disease, naturally it will undergo death. So it is a type of harmful variation. So each and every individual existing on this earth shows difference in the characters. So these changes which we can see in the characters of the individual is called as variation. Now, next important concept of Darwin is survival of the fittest. So, an organism with useful variation. So, he will survive on the earth because he is considered as the fittest, and the organism with harmful character or harmful variation will undergo death. So this is the next concept of Darwin, that is survival of the fittest. And last postulate of Darwin is origin of species. So the process of formation of new species on this earth is called as speciation. So who will survive on this earth? So the individual who will have useful variation or favorable variation or favorable character in himself will survive on the earth, and as a result there will be formation of new species. So in accordance with Darwin, there was another one scientist called as Alfred Russel Wallace. So Alfred Russel Wallace also proposed the theory of Darwinism. So he also proposed the theory of evolution. So he had similar concepts as that of Darwin. So as a result, Alfred Russel Wallace and Darwin shared the same ideas regarding the theory of evolution. So these are some important concepts regarding the theory of evolution. So Alfred Russel Wallace, he also proposed the theory of evolution, that is origin of species by natural selection. So both of them, they shared the same ideas, same concepts and same views regarding evolution. So in this today's session, we have studied about Miller's experiment and Darwinian principles. Thank you.